we are talking about one topic that puts everyone on edge. Sure, you can talk about politics, you can talk about sports, you can even discuss how your day went. But the moment you discuss bills, financial struggles, and investments, the whole room would seem quiet. You can probably hear a pin drop. Is talking about money harmful? This is what we are going to be discussing today, and why it may be necessary to talk more about finances and money in 2026. Considering the tough economy and the changing times, this can probably be a turning point in your finances. And by talking about it, it may be very beneficial to you and your family. But first, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, drop a comment down below if you want to show the channel some love. Also, in case you haven't met me before, my name is Leon Mann, and I'm a licensed wealth consultant with Money Assist Financial. And what I do, I help hardworking individuals add an additional multiple 6 to 7 figures to their retirement portfolio. And I also, more importantly, help them to protect the hard-earned money during retirement. Is talking about money harmful in 2026? Well, I can argue that not talking about money can be more harmful than talking about money. For example, the best way that we learn about money is by observing. We observe how our parents handle money. We observe how they spend it and how they react, whether it's a good or a bad thing. Now, when it comes to talking about the decisions behind the purchases, when it comes to debt, we're pretty much left in the dark. And this is why young adults, they have a very unrealistic view when it comes to spending, when it comes to earning a living, when it comes to debt management in general. It affects their quality of life. Well, one way to avoid this from happening is by having the money talk. When families discuss finances openly over the dinner table, it raises more awareness. And young adults will have more realistic views, right? When it comes to things like spending, things like debt management, things like saving for retirement in general, right? It will help them out. And another thing, discussing income will help them to gain a valuable perspective. How often have you thought that if you're earning a higher income, it means you are wealthy? Well, wealth has little to do with earning a higher income. It has to do with other factors. For example, what about their spending habits? What about their investment decisions? What about their values around money in general? You see, a high income is only a small part when it comes to the total overall wealth. And this is why sometimes it may be very helpful to mention this, especially when you're talking about your kids. And also, when families discuss successes and when they discuss lessons openly with regards to finances, then the younger generation will have less issues with money. They will find themselves being able to handle finances better. Biggest stress with families is financial unawareness. Children, they are not aware that their parents are saving towards retirement. And parents may not be aware that their children, they're struggling financially. And more importantly, you may have siblings that have unrealistic views with regards to inheritance and wealth in general. So it's pretty common for siblings to have feuds or family feuds with regards to finances amongst their other siblings. Now, does this mean that you should discuss every single dollar? Well, not exactly. You see, it's okay for family members to have boundaries with regards to how much they make. You see, it's not about making a judgment. It's not about competition. The reason why you want to have the money talks in general is to build a closer connection, is to build trust with each other, and more importantly, to educate. The reason why there may be so much financial problems with debt and can't maintaining the high cost of living is because more money talks should be implemented amongst family members. And it's important, get this, to talk more about principles as opposed to comparison. What I mean by this is that do not ask questions with regards to who's making the most income. See, if you talk about numbers, you're not going to get anywhere. But when you talk about principles, for example, have you ever gotten into debt problems? What did you do to get a job promotion? What did you learn most when it comes to finances? If you had to do it all over again, what would you do better? See, by talking about finances and by talking about the principles with regards to money, it's a lot more valuable than discussing a number, as meaning who's making the most money. When you talk about income that way, then it leaves more room for judgment and comparison. But money talks, they're all about discussing the principles and the reasons behind spending, investments, and saving for retirement. Check this out. At the end of the day, every one of us will have to deal with financial pressures and money in general. Yet, families, they may spend their whole lives trying to avoid talking about money. Something that can improve financial literacy, reduce overall stress in our lives, simply by having the money talk. The families that build lasting relationships, they do not just pass down money, but they're able to pass down financial knowledge. And by passing down financial knowledge, they're leaving a legacy where generations can live a prosperous life without having to worry much about money and finances in general, right? It's all about what you leave behind, and you want to make sure that you're able to discuss it openly and freely amongst family members. Money talks should be just like politics. It should be just like sports. And if you make this a habit, then it's going to be less pressure and less stress. By the way, guys, if you found value in this presentation, feel free to hit the like or subscribe, or also follow if you like topics with regards to money, wealth building, and financial strategies in general. Also, check out these other videos where we turn it up a notch.